Now, if he says, this is one of those where, well, Dave, what if he's really busy, right? First of all, understand most objections, we don't know and can't tell if it's really the truth or not, right? That's the theory underlying how we address this stuff, okay? We just don't know. But it's this constant back and forth that arrives us closer and closer to the reality of the circumstances that the client's saying is true or not. Most of the time, the truth is the client is not telling the full truth. They are reacting on the spot, saying something that comes to their mind, but underlying it is what we're trying to speak to, which is this resistance against being in a stressful environment with a stranger who's a salesperson who's trying to sell something and take my money, right? So we're speaking to that when we rebuttal. That's why we say things like, all I need is 5 minutes to show you how this works. What you do with it's up to you. And we insist on closing at either the porch or inside, or shoes on or off before I come in. Because you have to, again, address the underlying thing that is not being addressed, which is the fear, right? It only take a few minutes. You have to, and you have to have this frame at the door that you're just there to deliver information, and it's just going to take a few minutes. Likewise, if you're doing telesales, same thing. It's just, you're just calling them up to help them with the information they requested. You're not selling them anything. I mean, truly, you're not going to push or even convince anybody to buy this stuff. This stuff sells itself. It's your line of questioning that, as we get into the presentation later, that will convince the prospect of their need, if there is any, and if there truly is a problem to solve, if there is any. The client sells himself on it. We just kind of are like the Sherpa. We're showing them the way and making it real to them that they've got a problem if it's there, and they decide. So we're really, in a sense, not selling anything either. We're just hoping to guide them towards the right decision, that make sure that we're there to deliver information. That's what this is about. And anything they say, if they no time, I'm busy too. It just takes a moment. What you do with it's up to you. You have to stay in that frame. Okay. If they push back and say, no, really, I am busy, I'm about to go to dialysis, or I've got a doctor's appointment, a haircut, or whatever, right? Then at that point, I would say, now this is in person. At that point, I would say, okay, then let's do this. I'll be back tomorrow night. How about tonight. How about I stop by at 5 o'clock or to 7 work? So if I'm at the door, I cannot get in now after I've tried several times, then I'm going to rebook it later, because again, we want to be there the same day. The more time between your attempt at the door or on the phone to the actual appointment, the more often there's a no-show, right? If they're hanging the phone up on you, or they're closing the door like, nah, I'm just not interested, and they're closing, there's nothing you can say, you have exhausted the opportunity, and you should be happy that you've done everything conceivable to make this thing happen. Okay? That is the goal. We're not trying to get door slammed in our face. We're not trying to get hung up, like, purposely. But we're trying to get as much out of these calls as we can. It's our money in play. I want it back and then some. And again, what's the hardest thing here? I think it's hard to conceive of it in the beginning. But if they close the door on you or hang up on you, like, what's the worst that can happen? You probably weren't going to get it anyway. You know, don't let this stuff personally affect your self-esteem, right? That's one no closer to a yes, right? That's the way to look at it. And at least you have the personal dignity. You've exhausted this lead. You know, not everybody can say that. So it's good, man. Cool.